You are one step away from never explaining yourself to AI again. Right now, every time you open Claude or Chat GPT, you start from zero. You describe your voice, you paste your examples, you waste 20 minutes trying to get something that actually sounds like you. That ends today. Great systems run a business, and people run those systems. So what you're about to set up is one of the foundational systems inside your business that makes every email, every post, every piece of content you create faster, sharper, and in your voice and style every single time. So we're just going to say the quiet part out loud. You're not bad at using AI. You're just doing it wrong. Every coach or entrepreneur I talk to has the same story. They open a new chat, ask for help writing something, such as like an email, a caption, a sales message, and what comes back is polished, professional, and completely lifeless. It doesn't sound like them. It sounds like a press release from a company no one wants to work with. So they do what everyone does. They type, make it sound more like me. They paste examples, and they try 10 more prompts. The output shifts a little. Maybe you get something back that works. And the next day, new conversation, back to zero, same problem, same wasted hour. So here's what no one's telling you. Right? AI isn't broken, the approach is. Telling Claude your voice is warm and direct doesn't work because that describes half the coaches on the internet. Words like that are directions on a map with no destination. You need coordinates. You need a system Claude can actually follow, not a vibe it has to guess at. And that system has 3 parts. It has your personal DNA, your skill, and custom instructions. So by the end of this video, you're going to have your personal DNA and your skills set up inside of Claude. If you're using ChatGPT, we're going to cover that. We're at least going to set up your personal DNA. And we'll talk about the differences between both. You're also going to understand how to better use custom instructions. So the next time you ask your AI tool to write something, it's going to sound just like you. It's going to feel like you wrote it on your best day. So are you ready? Let's go build it once and let's go change your world forever. All right, so optimizing and setting up your Claude account to really work as your full-time partner and assistant has 3 parts: your personal DNA, your skill, and custom instructions. And we're going to do a quick note here. If you're using Chat GPT, switch to Claude. Seriously. You're probably not that heavily invested, and there's dozens of reasons why I would recommend switching. Chat GPT actually has certain limitations that Claude does not, and we're going to cover a few of them in the video. So you might not be convinced to switch right now, and at the end of this video you might see all the benefits why and be like, oh wow, let me get into Claude right now. So in this video I'm going to show you how to load your personal DNA into ChatGPT and into Claude, because you can do it in both. However, skills, right, in the capacity I'm showing you in this video are actually unique to Claude. You can't replicate the exact setup in ChatGPT. Yes, ChatGPT has skills. They are nowhere on the level where I'm going to show you what Claude can do. So also plus, when you are loading your personal DNA, ChatGPT has character limitations. Claude does not. I don't want to invest in a tool, an AI tool, right, with limitations. Do you? So let's dive in, open up your Claude account, or if you're still diehard, I'm stuck on ChatGPT, open ChatGPT and let's get started. And so we're going to look at first the important difference of each part. So let's dive in, and this is going to be hands-on. I'm going to be walking you through what each piece is, and I'm actually going to open up my Claude and my ChatGPT account. And I explain in another video why I actually have 2. But my one that I use, live and die by, is Claude. I use ChatGPT for specific kind of ASEO advantages. That's another video. So what is personal DNA? We're going to walk through each of these 3 pieces. Right? Personal DNA is your identity that stays active in every conversation you have with Claude, right? Automatically. Think of it as a standing briefing Claude gets before you even say hello, right? The purpose is to make Claude behave consistently as your assistant across all interactions while knowing you, your business, your goals, your audience, your values. You don't have to re-explain yourself again, right? And things that are always true about you, such as your name, your role, your brand voice, right? Your values, your audience, your offers. So every time you open Claude, it knows you. You never have to say, I'm a business coach who serves non-technical entrepreneurs, or I'm a fitness coach who helps menopausal women over 40, or I'm a carnivore coach who helped men lose weight while eating copious amounts of bacon, right? You don't have to say that ever again. It knows you. So that is really your personal DNA. And then what's a skill? So a skill is a set of instructions saved as a file that Claude loads. Think of it as like a specialist training manual. Claude keeps on hand and consults whenever the right task comes up. Its skill is a reusable instruction file. You build it once, you store it inside your Claude account. No more re-explaining yourself every session. No more copy pasting voice notes, hoping for the best. No more explaining your voice, your tone, your style, how you write. You're going to set it up. Claude's going to learn from it. And from that point forward, every draft you produces, it built around how you actually communicate. And so you don't need to remember, also side note, to activate voice skills every time. Claude reads a skill and it loads it when it determines a skill is relevant to your request. You also can load the skill manually whenever you want, and you also can load the skill all the time. And we'll show you that in a later video when I get into my Claude account. So think of a skill as like a playbook inside your business. It's your voice skill that travels with you across all projects, conversations, and Claude knows when to pull it out. So what are custom instructions? You've probably actually already been using custom instructions in your projects. And you might be wondering, like, why is a skill worth the extra step? And here's the key differences. So custom instructions, these are kind of like notes on a whiteboard, right? They're useful when you're in the room, but then when you move to a different room or a different project, those notes stay behind. And also custom instructions, they have a limitation of space, of length and detail. A skill can be significantly longer, more detailed, and allows for like a more complex capture of patterns, constraints, and behaviors more reliably. So a skill can capture these nuances. They can make the writing yours, including specific patterns, and they can follow specific things to avoid. And then also portability, right? Custom instructions, you've probably been using them, and we're going to show you them in the projects. They live in a single project. They're those custom instructions inside that single project that probably most of you are using. And that's great if you're using that. That's kind of like level 1, right? We're going up to level 2, level 3 even. So if you use the same voice guidelines across multiple projects, you have to copy and paste them into each one, or you have to remember to say, hey, can you use this, right? And update every version. You ever had to like re-prompt Chat or Claude GPT on the same style or template? It's super annoying. It's a waste of time. A skill solves this problem. A skill lives in one place. You update it once and change applies everywhere. It's a massive, massive time saver. So we're going to look at the 3 layers. This is a little chart that I made so you could kind of really understand the 3 layers of your personal DNA, your skill, and your custom instructions. So here it is right here. Your personal DNA, think of it as like the top layer. This is who you are, your identity, your values, your context. It applies across every conversation always. And it's the most general. Your skill is like a voice guideline. It's your writing style, your tone, how you sound, and it's reusable across all projects, stored once, reusable layer everywhere. And then you have your project or custom instructions, right? These are specific to one project. Your goals, your audience, your rules for it, these are the most specific. And they're just live in that one project. So this is really kind of like the 3 layers that we're gonna layer on. Okay, so next we are gonna get into actually setting up your personal DNA inside of Claude or Chat GPT. So the first thing you're gonna do is make a copy of this AI personal DNA. There'll be a link so you can access this. And this is a live interaction. I want you to actually do this. So this can take anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes. And pause this video, right? Come back to it, save this video when you actually have the time to do this, and we can do this live together. This is a not do this tomorrow, next week, like next month. This is like, we're gonna change your life and do this right now. So go ahead and either pause this video if you don't have the time and come back and save it, or follow along with me and make a copy of this document, this AI personal DNA right here. And before we open up this personal DNA document, the credit of this document goes to Igor with AI Advantage. It's so perfect, and Igor is really what I call like the AI God. Actually, there's only one God and Savior that I serve, and that's Jesus Christ. So Igor, you got to be called the AI guru, right? Let's call him the AI guru. I don't want you to reinvent the wheel. Like, this is perfect, and he made this. And I'm going to add a link in the description where you can find Igor. So if you want more information, you want to just join his community, you can connect more with him. But what you're going to do is you're going to click this. And what it's going to do is it's going to say, hey, make a copy, because we're making your own personal copy. You're going to make a copy. And when you make a copy, it's going to pop up and it's going to look like this. Change it from template, put your name in here. And this is your personal DNA. You are going to go through and you're going to answer all of these questions. So anywhere there's this little area right here, you're going to go and just remove, and you're going to put your name. And you're going to go and just fill out the information, because what we're going to do at the end is we are going to copy and paste this entire document. So you just put this back to where it was. So you're going to go through and you're going to actually fill this out. You're going to really spend the time to think about what are your goals that you're working on for the next 90 days. And you're going to go and put them in. You're going to think about your values. You're going to put them in. They're really clear prompts, right? And so anywhere, like I said, these brackets exist, you need to delete that and put your text in here. And you're going to look at your target audience, and you're going to go in and who's your ideal client? What are the promises, transformations you deliver? So you're going to go and fill this out. Then once you actually have that saved and filled out, you are going to really put thought and care into your answers, right? So this is step 2, fill out the document, right? Make a copy, fill out the document. Then we're actually going to open Claude. We're going to do Claude first, and we're going to paste your answers in settings, general instructions for Claude. So if I have Claude kind of opened right here and for you. So you can see this is my Claude account, and you can see in settings, general, this is my full name. This is what Claude should call you, right? And then this is all the bits that's in here. So I literally went in here and I hit all copy, went into Claude and hit paste. And it literally pasted everything in here. There's some other preferences down here that you may want to fill out, but the biggest beef of your personal DNA, the biggest meat part is instructions for Claude. You're going to paste that right in there. Now, if you're on Chat GPT, right, that's the first step here in Claude. There's a screenshot for you. If you're on Chat GPT, you're going to paste your settings in settings, personalization, custom instructions. So in chat right here, this is going to be personalization, and then you're going to see custom instructions right here, and you're going to paste your instructions right here. Now, you might notice there's a subtle difference with ChatGPT and Claude. If you looked at mine, you're like, gosh, why does it say I grew up watching my mom? It's a little bit longer, and here it's a little shorter. And the reason for that is, let's go back here. ChatGPT does limit the number of characters you can enter. Claude does not. So this is all the more reason to switch to Claude. Why do you want an AI tool that actually limits the number of characters you can put in for what we call your personal DNA? I don't want to be limited with my AI tool. So just, another notch on the belt why I would switch over to Claude. And if one thing you do from this video is load your personal DNA, then great, you're off to a good start. However, we don't want good, we want great. So let's go ahead and let's just keep going. Right, the next thing is going to be to set up your skill. So I'm going to just go ahead and let's move Claude and let's move chat out of the way. And we are going to set up your, what I called skill. So there's a couple prerequisites for this. The first prerequisite is you actually need to have a paid Claude account, and this skill is specific to Claude. And I know you might be going, Melinda, ChatGPT has skills. Trust me, is not the same. And I'm going to show you why. The skills in ChatGPT are limited. And so I'm not even gonna mess around with this. I don't want good, I want great. So I'm on Claude. And literally a paid Claude account, I think it's right now as a time I'm making this, it's $20 a month for a pro account. That's lunch, guys. I mean, that's like 2 coffees nowadays. Right? So like just skip lunch, make a sandwich and 1 month and get a paid Claude account. This is a tool it's gonna save you hundreds of thousands of hours of your life you're gonna get back for $20 a month, right? It's worth the investment. Invest in the tool that's going to save massive time. Get a paid Claude account, it's $20. The next thing you're gonna need is a substantial collection of your own written content that represents your voice. So you're gonna go and you're gonna collect a handful of blog articles, emails, go into your sent box. Right? And don't go to your sent box of something your assistant wrote using an AI tool that doesn't really sound like you. That's not what we want. Go back last year, go to some sent items, go to some blog articles that you wrote that are your voice, that reflect your style. Because we need your own written, authentic content that you wrote in your voice, because that's what Claude's gonna learn from. And how much you're gonna need we're gonna be explained down below. Then this is super important. You need one piece of content that does not sound like you, that you would never write, that's never your vibe, is like the opposite of what you sound like. And it could be from anyone. So we're gonna dive into what makes a good skill, right? So not every skill is built the same, right? Before I show you how to build the skill, we're gonna just look at a little bit of what makes a good skill, right? And the difference between one that sounds like you and one that really doesn't. It comes down to 3 things. The first thing is it's built from real writing, not memory. It describes your voice, right? It's from real pieces that actually sound like you, not polished pieces, right? But pieces that are your true authentic voice. It also is when we can tell Claude, the second piece, what to stop doing. So you have all the list of do's, right? But the anti-patterns are the other half, right? These are the habits and phrases that make content sound not like you, right? And kind of like everyone else. And so when Claude knows what your voice isn't, it can stop defaulting to the generic. And then the third piece is sharpening with contrast. So all the positive examples you're going to give it just alone produce kind of vague principles. But if you can show Claude what your voice is and what it isn't, that sharp contrast then gets us the output of it's very specific enough that you actually use and it sounds like you. You build this right once and you won't have to touch it again. So we're going to get started and let's going to actually build your skill. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to gather your source material. So, right, you're going to, pause this video and you're going to go in and you're going to be like, all right, what are some blogs that I wrote? What are some letters that I wrote? What are some emails that I wrote? And you're going to go and start collecting all these materials. You need at least 5,000 words, but really up to 25,000 is the best. And the more content you have, the better, right? Because the more specific and accurate the extraction that is going to be. Good candidates are all right here. So all these right here, go thumb through what you've got, right? Transcripts that you wrote, maybe of a video, social posts, proposals, newsletters, blogs, emails, articles, go gather it all. And for the sake of this, we're going to try to simplify, right? Word docs or PDFs are great. MD files are best, but if you don't know what that is, I don't want you to spend days or even hours researching what it is to load it. Just Word docs and PDFs work great. And I'm going to show you an example that I did with PDFs. If you know what an MD file is, great, use it. And if not, Word docs and PDFs, remember, just don't get stuck in all the nitty-gritty details. Like, we want to move forward, right? And we want to change your world on how you operate with your AI tool. So what matters most is the writing should represent how you actually communicate, how you think, right? And polishing is fine, but authenticity, this word, is far more important than perfect and polished. That's what we want. We want your real voice and your real style. And then how much is enough, right? If you were to give a few short emails to Claude, that wouldn't be enough. So give Claude a variety. Get a couple different sources, right? Think of it like you have a new team member that's learning how to you're communicating with, and they're learning your voice, and giving them 3 paragraphs of writing wouldn't be enough, right? But a transcript of you giving a workshop plus several emails, an article, a blog, that's way closer to what Claude would need to identify your patterns and make your voice distinctly yours. So then the next critical piece is you've gathered all the pieces out of your authentic voice is getting one counter example. Now, this is the step most people skip, and it makes the biggest difference. So find just one piece of content that does not sound like you. I know for me, I found there's a lady who's she's a therapist, and she writes just really sarcastic, really just negative and kind of mean, actually. And that's the opposite of me. I view it as mean, right? To me, it's I don't talk to people like that. I don't write like that. I'm not an angry, sarcastic, negative woman. Me, I'm a really positive, a really see the good in everything. And if there's a problem, there's a solution. That's how I write. So I found this one piece of content from this person, and she writes like this. And I was like, great, this is my negative content because this is not me. It's so far off to how I write. So if you have something like that, great, get it. If you don't, and you're I can't think of anybody, get an AI draft, maybe an AI draft of something that felt generic or off, right? Or maybe it's just a colleague that has a noticeably different style than you, and go grab some content from them. Don't make it a little couple sentence email. You're gonna need you need a page email, something a little longer. So you can go and collect content. Here's some ideas of the content to get, right? So basically, these are kind of the 3 pieces that you want, right? You want to build a voice skill that actually sounds like you. So not 3 pieces is how I separated it so you can see, right? To give Claude the vibe it can follow. You want at least, I would say 5,000 to 25,000 words in your real writing. You want to prioritize raw over polished, right? We want authentic over perfection. And you want to give one sample of what you didn't write. Okay, so then the next thing is we are going to run the initial extraction. And I'm going to get my Claude up over here, which I have, so you can see right here. Let's use this one to start. Okay, so what you're going to do is right here, run the initial extraction. So rather than uploading thousands of words in your new project, right, instead of going here and copying and pasting all your stuff all right here, just typing so you can see where it is, we are actually going to we're going to make a new project. We have to put it somewhere. So in projects on your left-hand bar, you guys all know where projects are. And if you don't, go click on your left bar. There's just the thing that says projects. And you're going to create a new project, and you are going to name your project My Voice right here. Put this in yellow. And then you're going to add a short description. This project will focus entirely on building my voice skill. So you can see here's my new project that says My Voice. And if you click on the details, it says My Voice. This project will focus entirely on building my voice skill. And so then you go in here and you add your writing samples to the project's knowledge base. Do not upload the writing samples in the text box like I just showed you. You actually want to load the PDFs or Word docs as files, right, shown below. This way, Claude can reference all your source materials across multiple conversations, kind of without eating into Chat's context window. A context window, just so you know for frame of reference, is AI's short-term memory. It's the amount of text it can see, and it uses it as like one time to answer you. Right? If the conversation or chat gets too long or goes past the limit, it starts to kind of forget the oldest parts, right? And this is kind of why you probably noticed AI like doing things that you don't want it to do. So you're like, wait a minute. It's got short-term memory when you're putting it in the context window. So, the quality of the answers can actually get worse. So instead, we're going to take all the pieces that you just went and gathered, not the negative, not the bad piece, not the anti piece, not just the pieces that sound like you. And we're going to go put them in as files. So right here in the sample that I'm showing you, and I did really simple ones you guys could see. I just have right here a handful of, 2, 4, 6, 7 PDFs that I just uploaded. So they're long though. Some of them are longer that I uploaded that are blogs and emails that are like 100% my style, right? And I uploaded them in files. So once a project is set up and your writing samples are in the knowledge area, right? Or in the files area right here, then we are actually going to start a new chat inside the project, right? And you're going to run this extraction prompt. You're going to copy and paste the prompt into your chat, right? Do not change this prompt, as this prompt, again, comes from our AI guru, Igor. Oh, good. I wrote guru here. So it's in yellow. You're literally going to take this prompt. You are going to copy it and you are going to paste it right into here. And I'm going to actually go into this because I just did this, for you guys here for this video. So we're going to go back here. This is the prompt. You literally don't reinvent the wheel. You just copy and paste this exact thing here. So you've created your project, you've given a description, you've uploaded your files, and then you're going to put this prompt in. And this prompt says, I've added several examples of my writing style, right? They represent my authentic voice, analyze these samples, do all this great stuff to it, and present your findings. You're going to then review what comes back. So as you can see, Claude is going to basically give you your what are called voice principles. And you are going to read this and you are going to basically go through and read, and read them carefully. Ask yourself, does it feel accurate? Do I recognize myself? Is there anything missing? Is there something that maybe feels generic, or is there a pattern that Claude misrepresented? Don't worry about getting it perfect. The other step will sharpen the output. So then in step 3, we're going to be sharpening the output. So in step 3, we're going to add the counter example. Now, the counter example that you added, important, this is in bold. Upload or paste the counter example directly into the chat, not the project knowledge base. This is a one-time reference, not something the project needs to remember across conversations. So essentially, you're going to put this prompt in right here. Again, copy and paste exactly as it is in yellow. You're going to put the prompt in, and then you're going to add your file, right? So down here, you're going to copy the prompt in, and then you're going to go here, and you're going to add the file of your counter example that you have. And you're going to watch what happens. This is where the extraction gets really interesting. The contrast forces clarity. Your voice principles are going to get updated. It's not going to improve everything, but it's going to strengthen the anti-patterns and the principles where your voice differs most. Some principles may not change and that's fine. But now you're going to get a whole new revision of your principles, and you are going to review and refine the principles. The extraction will give you a strong starting point. So now you get to refine it with your own judgment, right? Your own judgment. This isn't your assistant setting this up for you. This is you. Like, you are setting this up. And I highly recommend, you are the CEO and the boss of your life. So don't say, oh, assistant, can you go set this up for me? No. We need you to just stop, take one step back to go 3 steps forward, right? And you're going to stop and you're going to spend 30 minutes, maybe an hour. It's going to be the best hour you spend of your life actually doing the steps that I'm telling you right here. You are going to do this. Again, I have to emphasize and stress that, because we want to get this right the first time. And then great, you can get your assistant can use your Claude account to write all your stuff for you if you want. And guess what? You don't have to keep telling them the same stuff. And it's right, exactly right in Claude. So make sure you are doing this. So then you are going to read through the updated principles and make edits, right? Is there anything that Claude missed? Is there anything you're like, oh, that needs to go? Or is there anything that needs to get sharpened a little bit, right? Maybe it needs to use humor occasionally, or I don't know what it is. You're going to know your voice. So once you figure out what the changes need, then you're going to copy and paste this exact text, right, in the same conversation we're having. So you'll know in my voice, I only have one conversation right here. And this voice project is only ever going to be used for this. So you are going to go and copy this, and you're going to paste and describe your edits right there. So right here, this is the only piece you're going to change. This is where list out your edits. You can list them in bullets or lists, right? Here's my corrections and additions to the voice principles. You list all your edits. Please incorporate these changes, produce a clean, updated version, right? Then you're going to review the updated, clean version, right? And it's going to sound a lot more accurate, right? So, and if it doesn't, and you're like, gosh, they still didn't get that right, go through and do this a couple times, do this edit a couple times right here. Sometimes it takes 1 or 2 times for it to actually just get it spot on. Then step 5 is we're actually going to build your skill file. So now you're going to instruct Claude to turn these voice principles into a properly structured skill file that Claude can use. So now you're going to ask Claude to package the principles using a skill creator skill. This is really specific. Claude built in has this skill creator skill that knows exactly how to structure a skill file correctly. Sorry, Chat GPT users, they don't have this. Something similar, but it's not this. It's good. This is great. So if you use Claude, ask it to create a skill to create this file. I'm going to give you exact prompts so you know how to ask it, right? You will basically, what is it? You're going to copy and paste this exact prompt, right? Using the skill creator skill, copy everything is in yellow that you're not supposed to change. Please take the finalized voice principles and package them into a Claude skill and name it My Voice. Now, this is a super, super pro tip. You need to confirm that Claude used the skill creator skill. Yes, like every AI, Claude gets lazy, rushes, and skips a step. And so after Claude produces the file, you want to ask them this exact question. That's why it's in yellow. You're not going to change yellow. These are the prompts you're putting in Claude. Can you confirm you use the skill creator skill to build this? And you're like, Melinda, but why do I need to ask Claude that? Because Claude is lazy and skips steps and isn't perfect and rushes. And you should be challenging your AI tool and asking it, did it actually do what you wanted it to do? Where did it find its sources? I mean, people just go put stuff in Claude and then think it's like the Bible and they don't actually challenge it and ask it. So this question is so important. You need to challenge Claude and say, did you actually use this or were you lazy? And if Claude says yes, you're good to go. If it didn't, you just ask it to redo the packaging using the skill creator skill and then ask it again, can you confirm you use this? So then the next step we're going to do is we're actually going to install the skill. So if Claude uses skill creator skill, right, you're going to see this copy to your skills button. That's right here, super simple. And you're just going to copy it. And once it's copied, it actually lives inside your Claude account right here. So here's a quick link to it. And if you go check it out inside your Claude account, here you can see is your voice right here. So you're like, okay, great, got it. Like this is my voice. So this is where your voice lives right inside of here. This is your personal skill, right? And this is your unique voice that's right here inside of Claude. So the next thing then is it's not tied to any one project, right? Like the custom instructions. It's available across all your projects, conversations, and even Claude Cowork if you use that. So you can also manually upload it. I'm not going to get into those. They're here. If you need to manually upload it, follow these instructions, go to this location. You can manually upload your skill here. But 99% of the time, copy your skills, it's going to upload it. So your skills are located here, right? I just showed you that. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to actually test your skill. So once your skill is installed, you need to confirm that it works. Open a new conversation in Claude, right? Accept the chat where you built the skill. This is a side note. This My Voice project will never be used again except for this specific skill. So tuck it away. So you're going to open a new conversation, right? And you're just going to start asking Claude to do something like right here. These are a couple things you can ask it to do. Using my skill voice, draft a follow-up email to a client who attended my workshop last week, or using my voice skill, write a social media post. Now, this is what we want to do. We want to verify the skill's actually being used. Well, how do you know that? When you ask Claude to use my skill, and I'm going to show you how you never actually have to ask it to use your skill. It's going to use your skill all the time if you want. But right now we're just doing a test. And you're going to see it working. It's going to say reading Melinda's voice skill. This is Claude showing you it's reading your voice skill right here. So it's working, right? Then try again without these explicit instructions to use my skill and see what happens, right? Test the same conversation and go ahead and open a fresh chat and say, help me write an opening paragraph for this, or whatever you want to do. And see if Claude invokes a skill on its own. Often it will, but automatic activation isn't guaranteed every time, except where I'm going to show you how we can activate it all the time if you want. So then the next thing is we're going to get into like custom instructions. So this is probably what you know and are using in Claude, right? If you go into like, I'm going to go into this right here. Right down here, you see these like instructions, like this is my project. It's called an obituary. And so right here, if you can see this, there's are custom instructions for the project. And you probably are using this. We are going to up level these custom instructions. These instructions are specific for this project. You are going to copy and paste, always read and apply my skill voice before creating content, just like this. And you are going to go into your instructions. You might have other instructions in this project as well. That's great, but you're going to list this one first. So all the projects that you always want to activate your My Skill voice before creating content, you don't want to think about it. You're going to paste that in here, and that's going to like guarantee each time that your project is, any conversations in that project are using your voice skill. You may already be using custom instructions, right? And so you know where to use it. And if not, here they are, you can start using them. Now you're going to evaluate the output, right? The simplest barometer is to see like how much editing do you feel like you still have to do? Does it still sound like you? Are there minor tweaks, right? If something's off, okay, no problem. Go back to your voice, enter that prompt that says update my stuff here and make these changes and reproduce me a brand new, new skill file. And Claude's actually smart enough. It's going to say, I see you're updating this skill file. Do you want to update it? And you hit yes, and it's automatically going to update it. So you're basically going to want to go through and you are going to get it right if something feels off. And you can go back next week, next month as things change and you're like, oh, I got to switch this. Like this thing keeps coming up all the time, right? You want to fix it. So most voice skills right here need about 1 to 2 rounds of refinement after the initial build. It's normal and makes it sharper. Now, this is an aha moment, right? What else can this be used for, right? The same extraction and packaging methodology works for different types of skills. What? You can have multiple skills? Sure. Maybe you have like a comic book style skill that you write in, or maybe you have a different communication style for when you're communicating with a client, or when you're teaching or coaching, or when you're talking to your internal team, or when you're doing like a sales voice. Like you can make different skills. That's a next level, right? We're not going to do that in this video. We're just going to get you to get your one skill uploaded so you can use this all the time, because this is a game changer. Then we're going to graduate and we're going to go on to making additional skill types that you might use for other things. So, right, like just mind blown. You can have multiple skills and you can call on them as you need for different projects. If your mind's not blown right now, I don't know what is. Right. So essentially, like the next steps is you've built your Claude, extracted your own writing, right? You've got everything working and you're testing it out. So this is the next steps, right? Use it today. The next email, social post, blogs, whatever you need to write. Ask Claude to use your voice skill and draft it, or put that little blurb in here in your project to say always use it, so you doesn't even have to think about it, right? The best voice skills are living documents, right? So you're going to notice that it catches and misses things, and it might spot patterns, and you might be like, man, it's using semicolons and I don't use them, or it's using, the infamous M dash. You hate this little thing, this little dash that Claude likes to put on everything. Tell it and train it. Never ever use the M dash again. Put that in your skill file. Go back to your voice and copy and paste this thing right here. This thing, I'm actually putting this in. This is my own, putting that in there. Never use the M dash again, right? If you don't ever want that. And it's a good like starting rhythm, right? You're going to use a skill for a week. You're going to notice what's working. You're going to adjust some things. After 2 to 3 rounds, like your voice, you're going to be like 95% there. And if you're kind of geeky and you want to read about all this documentation, I'll put a link to this right here, this documentation, so you can check that out. All right. You just built something most coaches never take the time to build. A system that knows your voice, thinks like you, writes like you, and works while you sleep. That's AI working for you, not the other way around. Every email, every post, every piece of content you create from here is faster, sharper, and actually sounds like you wrote it on your best day. This is what I mean when I say technology should serve people, not replace them, not confuse them, actually serve them. Free you up to do the work only you can do and you love to do. You got into coaching to change lives, not spend endless hours wrestling with a caption or writing copy. And you don't have to. Set it up, use it, and go spend that time on the people who need what you have. That's AI for good. So share this video with your community. Let's help others have more time and freedom. This could be what inspires someone else to better set up their Claude account. and have more time and freedom to spend serving their community and spending time with their family and their friends and their team. And if you have questions, drop them in the comments below or shoot me a message. Let's connect, as that is part of the human experience.